Hello, everybody. Good evening. I can see that lots of people are beginning to join us. You are in the right place if you are here for a webinar about scholarships. We're going to have a lot of information tonight on scholarships, what they are, who funds them, where can you find them, how do you make yourself a good scholarship applicant. So we're going to be going over all kinds of tips and resources. And in addition to some general information we're also going to be joined by Lily Alcantara, who is here from the San Diego Foundation, and she's going to talk specifically about the San Diego Foundation Scholarship, which is a scholarship for local students in San Diego County. And they have a common application, which is really cool. So you only have to fill out one application to find out if you can possibly qualify for many different scholarships. I'm just giving people a couple of minutes to join us, and then we will get started soon. I do want to mention that although you will not be able to type directly into the chat, if we put something in the chat like a link, you can click on it or save it. Or if we put a document in there, same thing, you can download it. But there should be a Q&A. You should see a Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. And if you click or tap on Q&A, if you want to type any question in the Q&A, we're going to do our best to answer those as well. In terms of this actual webinar, as you can see, it's being recorded. And starting tomorrow, we are going to have it posted on our CalSOAP website. We do have a webinars and blog section of the website. I'm pasting that in the chat right now, and I'll do so again later. But if you or someone who wasn't able to make it tonight want to see the recording of this webinar, it will be up starting tomorrow on our CalSOAP San Diego website. And also the slide deck that we are using is also going to be available for you on that same portion of the website. So you'll be able to have a link to a YouTube video of this and be able to also have a link to the slide deck as well. All right, so our main speaker this evening is actually our CalSOAP director. Her name is Linda Dowdy. She has been the director for many years in CalSOAP of San Diego and Imperial counties, and she's going to be sharing all the good information, all the tips and so forth. So again, please don't hesitate to ask any questions in the Q&A. I'm going to do my best to monitor that and answer those. But for now, I will allow Linda to go ahead and take it away.
Thank you, Carla. Good evening, everybody. Again, my name is Linda Dowdy, and I'm director of the CalSOAP, San Diego and Imperial counties. I want to talk to you tonight about scholarships. I have been a person that has actually served on scholarship committees and helped fund young people who went off to college. But I also personally have had a daughter who has gotten lots of scholarships. And I wasn't particularly low income. So I'm just letting you know that it's possible for people to get scholarships. I'm going to begin my presentation right now. First of all, I need to do some basic things. I want to talk about paying for college. And I want to remind people that a college education is a solid investment with lifetime benefits. My father once said, there's many things people can take away from you, but they can't take away the knowledge that you know. So a college education is definitely a solid investment. I want to talk about the basics and why would you want to apply for a scholarship? We know that financial aid is available to help you finance your college education. It is your scholarship dollars, which is on top of your financial aid that comes from the federal, the state, and your colleges that can help you reduce the amount of your student debt. Under basics, I want to remind you that all 5 systems of higher education in California and even out-of-state colleges and universities want you to bring scholarships when you come to their campuses. I also want to continue talking about that, you have to complete a financial aid form. It's usually in the form of the FAFSA, which is the Free Application of Federal Student Aid, or the California DREAM Act. I work with lots of seniors in many of the schools that probably some of you sit. And one of the things students are saying, well, I'm counting on getting this, or I'm counting on getting that kind of aid. And I'm telling them that most scholarships are now requiring you that you have a FAFSA or a CADA application completed. Even though it may even be, you may have a high family expected income. That's one of the basic tenets of getting scholarships today. I also want to remind you that if you are trying to get the priority money in California, which is the Cal Grant or the Cal Grant or middle class scholarship, that we need to have you complete that application by March 2nd. Sometimes under basics, what we find is students don't know which application to complete. If you are a US citizen, a permanent resident, or have a T visa, you will complete the FAFSA application. If you are undocumented, which means you do not have a social security number, the student does not have a social security number. If you're DACA, if you're a U visa or a TPS, you need to complete the California DREAM Act that comes from the California Student Aid Commission. Also under basic, I want to explain to you exactly what financial aid is. Financial aid is primarily need-based. That means the more income you may have or at your discretion, probably you won't get as much financial aid as someone who has very limited resources. So, and students and their families are the primary responsible person to pay for the student's education. And again, financial aid is primarily based on need. The lower the expected family contribution, the more financial aid a student can receive. Under basics, people ask, well, how do I pay for my college education? And we said there's a couple of things. Many of you may have, or your parents have already started doing personal savings for your college. It could be in the form of a 529 plan. It could be in the form of a bank, like a savings plan within a bank. It's personal, right? So you can have family savings or it's personal. It could be savings bond, like my daughter's grandparents did for her. But also there's financial aid, there's grants, there's workshops and loans that become available to you. And I'm going to primarily talk about scholarships. Here's where you can find your sources of scholarships: the federal government, the state government, and under the state government, we're talking about California Student Aid Commission in California. You're talking about your colleges and universities, and we're also talking about private donors. That's the four major sources of scholarships. Let me define what a scholarship is. A scholarship is an award for the purpose of furthering a person's education. Awards are based on a range of criteria in which reflect the values and the purpose of the donor or the founder of the award. No two awards may look alike. Most of them are not alike. Most of them may be somebody who's leaning towards they want you to be more in STEM. Sometimes it's about community service. Sometimes about extracurricular. It just depends on who is funding the scholarship. And the great thing about a scholarship is it is not a loan. You do not need to repay it. How does a scholarship work? Federal and state governments, most times you're going to find out that the cost of attendance is not going to be entirely covered by the financial aid that you get from the state or the federal government. So scholarships are going to help make up the difference. Most scholarships that I've seen a young lady who started her scholarship a venture, a journey, starting in 9th grade, and she had lots of scholarships at the end. For most of us, though, we don't think about scholarships till the 12th grade, till you're getting ready to go off to college. But they are open to younger students. We know that scholarships vary in the amount and the duration of how long you get to keep it. Most scholarships are going to be paid directly to a student's college, or it's going to go to the financial aid office, and then it's going to be dispersed to the student. Some scholarships can be renewable annually, and some of them are one-time only. Others you can accept and use multiple different scholarships simultaneously. Sometimes you are over awarded. That's a conversation you need to have with the funder if you get the money. And most colleges will allow scholarships or grants to cover the cost of attendance and anything else that helps the students to pay for their college experience. Here are some of the things or the factors that make students eligible for scholarships. If you look down the list, it could be about gender or orientation. It could be about your financial need. It could be about your citizenship. Even within your own high school, there are very specific scholarships. Sometimes it's the city you live in or the county you live in. Sometimes it's based on your background or your heritage or your race or ethnicity. There are scholarships out there for veterans or military or descendants. There are religious scholarships. It's about being a member of a specific organization. It could be about your GPA or your academics. It could be about the SAT and ACT scores, even though you are not, it's not required for many colleges, UCs, and the CSUs in California. Many people have taken it because other campuses may require them. It could be a sports scholarship. It could be a work experience. It could be about hobbies or activities. It could be about your community service. It could be about your abilities or your disabilities, right? About your special skills and your talents, your leadership, your college and career goals, and your college selection. So there is a plethora. There's a lot of different ways in which you can become eligible for a scholarship. One moment, please. Sorry, Carla, it's stuck.
That's okay.
I'm telling you, every time it gets, I don't know why it sticks.
And while you're getting that back, okay, there we see it again. And if you go to from current slide, that should do it.
Oh, wait a minute, I went back to the beginning anyway. Okay, let me get to this. Scholarships are sometimes college-specific awards. These are awards that are given to you because when you are accepted at a college and they're trying to entice you to come to their college, they will do college-specific awards to you. Examples of this would be UCSD, UC San Diego, the Chancellor's Associate Scholar that are at specific schools. If you are a student that applied to UC San Diego and you are accepted, that if you're in that school and you meet the financial aid obligation that they ask for, you can become a Chancellor's Associate Scholar. Also, the California Community College has the Promise Scholarship, and they gave me a great example of it. We know that for fall, it starts June 9th, and priority deadline is going to end June 16th. So if you're interested in going to a 2-year campus where 2 years of free tuition and health fees, if you're going to go to community college, this would be it. There are athletic scholarships. If you have not registered with the NCAA, this is something you need to do right away to make you eligible to play and to receive an award, an athletic scholarship. So athletic scholarships. There are academic awards. Again, it's awarded by your college for your academic achievements, but you, again, have to be accepted to that specific college. There are department awards. Sometimes within campuses, maybe it's because that's what's going to be your major. They will also do department awards for English or biology or history, or economics, political science. Sometimes it's the arts. So be on the lookout for this. These awards sometimes will come even sometimes before you are even accepted. So if you get information in a portal asking you, are you interested in it? Do you want to apply for it? Please apply for it. Private organizations. Thousands of private organizations are giving money away. Corporations, they offer to attract and retain employees. They're about supporting the community and the business where they're located and try to get people to be in the workforce, right? So a lot of corporations are doing it. Let me give you an example. There are Google, if you're in the technology field, Google, Dell, Microsoft, Adobe, and Raytheon give out scholarships. If you are in the food or beverage, if you happen to have a job at McDonald's or Burger King or Taco Bell or Coca-Cola or Dr. Pepper, those organizations have scholarship opportunities for employees, but they also have scholarships for other people who may not work for them. So please check that out. If you're into automotive, sometimes it's about Toyota or BMW or General Motors or Shell, where you buy your gas, or Chevron. Please look at those particular websites because sometimes they are also offering scholarships. Religious organizations. I know, for example, at my particular church that I attend, we give out scholarships each year for graduating seniors that apply. So check with some religious organizations or churches actually give out scholarships to their seniors. Also, your high schools. I was at a high school the other day, and they had a board where they were talking about all the scholarships that were available, right? Sometimes it's on their website. Sometimes it's in the counseling office. Sometimes it'll be in a Google Doc, and you have to go into the Google Doc to see what scholarships are available. But your high schools are full of, they know first about what scholarships are available. Your school district also website will say that, and also our San Diego or Imperial County Office of Education will also have a good idea about what scholarships are available. Many of you don't know that the businesses, the Chamber of Commerce that are in San Diego and Imperial counties, for example, San Diego Chamber of Commerce, there's a San Diego Black Chamber of Commerce, and there's a Latino Chamber of Commerce. There are so many Chamber of Commerce. These are businesses that are trying to give money away. I remember distinctly where the San Diego Chamber of Commerce was having a hard time getting the information out. They were begging for people to apply. Other private organizations, and I think immediately of the United Negro College Fund, the UNCF, where my daughter received thousands of dollars in scholarships from that organization. And the thing about it is, they were telling me not many people apply. So we want to make sure that you understand, most times when you apply for scholarships, there is not really a whole lot of competition, because applying for a scholarship is almost like doing a full-time job. So people tend to shy away from it because they're very disorganized. If you are a descendant of a person that's retired in the military, if you have a military background, you've done tours of duty, you may be eligible, or your child may be eligible for a CalVet, and that's the information at the bottom, the website. This is how they fund tuition. I've seen them do books. So check with your parents if they have retired from the military, and it's a paperwork, but it's good paperwork because it can help you fund your education. One of the things people have always asked me is, how do you organize the scholarship process? And I always tell people, the main thing you need to do is gather all the information in one place. I've seen people act like every time there's a scholarship, they act like they've never filled out one before. You need to understand, you gather all the information in one place. Most scholarships repeat the same essays. Most of them ask for the same information. For example, we're telling students that you need to always have a resume ready to roll. a very basic resume. You talk about your education, when you're going to graduate, right? When you're going to be able to, the date you're going to graduate, if you were ever employed, right? What kind of honors and awards have you done? What kind of extracurricular have you done in community service? Instead of you trying to remember what you did in the 9th grade, what you did in the 10th grade, if you have it in a resume format, it's so much easier and it's much faster. You always got to have your letter of recommendations ready. You cannot, sometimes the registrars at schools get real busy. And I am recommending that you go get every semester that you have 3 current recommendations, 3 recommendations ready, which means that you've already had conversations with the teacher. You've already talked to somebody and they've written a recommendation. Even for your college, they may have written a recommendation. Ask them, can you go back to them, or can you send me a copy of it so you can attach it if it's last minute? Transcripts, you also have to have 3 current transcripts. Your registrar, I talked about your registrar. They get busy sometimes. I always had 3 current transcripts of my daughters at my house. Sealed transcripts, right? They're official transcripts. And if I needed to send it off with a scholarship, I just attached it or whatever and sent it right off. Essays or short answers. I tell you to learn to recycle. Many of the essays ask the same questions or the short answers. Why do you want to go to college? Tell me about your community service. What community service activity has impacted you? They may ask you for a personal statement about how did you get to be the person that you are now? They may ask you about what do you want to be when you grow up, right? So, they're the same basic things. Some of these you've used in your UC application. Some of these you may have done in Avid. You just need to be able to collect it. And what you need to do is, you don't attach it like it is. You may have to do a little tweaking of it to make it fit that scholarship. And scholarship deadlines. I'm going to be honest with you. People miss scholarship deadlines. They work and work and work, and then they turn around and they don't know when the deadlines are. I'm asking you to gather all your information in one place, to create some kind of grid where you say, I've applied for scholarship A, B, and C. This is when they are due. They asked for a recommendation, they asked for a transcript, they asked for a resume, a check, so that you will know what you've done. Do not be one of those foolish people, because you might do a scholarship today, but someone may not call you to March about that scholarship. And you're going to say, I didn't apply for that scholarship. You need to have it in a handy dandy place. So when someone calls you, you can say, you can actually look to see that you've done it. And so one person told the scholarship provider, I didn't apply for your scholarship. Well, they did. And of course, they lost out on that opportunity. Here are the things, if you're looking for the application components, here they are. The essay or the short answer questions. Probably most 9 times out of 10, there's going to be some kind of piece you're going to have to write. Just like you do for a college application, please have someone proof it. If you are in the arts, they may ask you for a sample work or project submission. Most people are going to ask you, what did you do with your time in high school? So they're going to ask you for your extracurricular activities list. They also will ask you for community service. Remember, extracurricular is how you develop yourself. Community service is what you've done for others. That's how you distinguish them. They will ask for a transcript, which comes with your registrar will either give you either have that, which is your transcripts, or your registrar will forward it, the letter of recommendation. Most times now they're doing more electronic stuff where you have to be in communication with a teacher, a counselor, a community person, and they are now starting to upload the recommendation. That's all I've been getting is uploading recommendations. And the thing about it is, they will send something directly to that person. So if you've not warned the person that they're going to be your letter of recommendation, it may go unanswered. So please be in communication with your recommender. Interviews, because of Zoom, interviews, they used to be more in person. Now interviews can be conducted on Zoom, or they can't do it in person, or they can do phone interviews. You'd be surprised, just to get an idea of who you are. With the arts, they may ask for an audition that you do. They may ask you about your awards and honors, and they may ask you about your test results. I can remember my daughter was going to law school. When she was applying for law school, you would think the PSAT was taken in her 11th grade year in high school. Do you know they asked for the PSAT score? So keep your PSAT, ACT, and SAT scores handy. I always tell people there are 5 principles of scholarship searching. Dig deep to find treasures, know thyself, know who you are. You don't apply to everything. You've got to have a 50-50 chance, and the scholarship has got to fit what you're going to be doing. We tell people to cast wide. I want to be a doctor. There's not going to be a scholarship that says you want to be an OB-GYN. I want to be a baby doctor, or I want to be an orthopedic doctor. You have to think a little, cast your vision a little wider about being a doctor or being a scientist, right? I tell people, search today, not tomorrow, which means please don't procrastinate. If you see something, jump on it immediately and get it done. And I tell people the floor is not your friend. What that means is get organized. Don't throw things on the floor, under your bed. You're trying to figure out where things are. Have things neatly organized. Carla, do I have any thing in the chat that I need to answer?
No, I think I've been answering them. There have just been some questions about like, what is a good resource for scholarships, or is there one place where I can find as many as possible? So I did put the CalSOAP scholarship page in the chat. And then some questions like, if you receive a scholarship, do you have to report that money to the IRS? Like, is it considered income? That was another question.
Okay, thank you. 10 action steps. We tell people, if I have to do all the action steps, I would tell people you would assemble all your scholarship search tools together. You know, what websites are you going to use? Which ones are you probably going to deal with? I tap my school's resources. I would use databases, which I will give you examples of databases later on this presentation. I am not afraid to rate other schools' resources. If you think your school's not doing well enough in scholarships, go to another school and see what they have. Canvass your community. Sometimes your community people know where the community scholarships are. Seek out the government resources. Pursue personal and family affiliations. You'll be surprised. When my daughter was applying for college, you'll be surprised. Family members were sending me kind of information about scholarships and that she could apply to. Of course, your internet search techniques. I use Google like nobody's business. I uncover school-specific awards. Figure out who your scholarship person is at your school. They're the gatekeepers of scholarships. And you want to know, you want them to remember you as a person that is going to be in need of money. And seek out related organizations. Figure out if you're in TRIO, if you're in CalSOAP, if you're in other organizations, please ask them to help you to figure out where scholarships are located. Here's what parents can do. We say that you are to help with the scholarship search. You are not to do all it by yourself. You lead your child to where they can find information. You strategize with your child. That means you have to sit down with them and say, which scholarships do I have a 50-50 chance of getting? If you're in arts, you shouldn't be searching for science scholarships. This gets strategic. Provide research assistance, which means, oh, look what I saw on the website. Maybe we can apply for this. They help you keep things organized. They provide you, help you with folders and keeping it organized on your desktop. So if you need something, you can always go to it. They're a good sounding board. That means they're talking to you about what scholarships are you applying for, where do you need help? Let me find some resources or people that can help you. They're good at reviewing the application. Is it complete? Sometimes people forget, I didn't attach my transcript. That your parents should be there saying, before you send it off, let me look at this information. And finally, to give support and encouragement. My daughter was like, I said, go girl, you can do really well. Look at this. We've turned in 2 scholarships this week. So we're always encouraging you to keep looking. Here's where you look for scholarships, the online searches and the websites. I use Google because you can put in the bar, the Google bar, you could say 3.7. My daughter, African American, 3.7 GPA, African American, majoring in 12th grader, going to college for political science. And it'll start showing you different scholarships that may be available. It'll show you schools too, but then you can also figure out what generic scholarships are out there. Social media, use your social media. You are the most social media group that I've ever seen. Talk to your counselors and your scholarship counselor. Talk to your teachers. Talk to community groups, people that your parents can talk to them. But you need to look at your community groups as where are scholarships available in this community. Your career center or your counseling office at schools and peers. Talk to other students. Where are you applying for scholarships? Because somebody together, and sometimes peers come together and form scholarships clubs, right? And they're all applying for scholarships, as many as possible. Also, Avid, if you're in an Avid, I know that you have to apply to so many scholarships per year. Here are some websites we talked about, the calsoap.org, the calsoapvirtualclassroom.com. That's when you go in and you can actually talk to college readiness coaches who are going to help you say, what are you trying to do? And they'll try to help you to figure out some scholarships you can apply for. You've got FastWeb, opportunity.collegeboard.org. You have scholarships.com and San Diego Foundation.org. And Lily will talk about that. Again, local scholarships. The best thing going San Diego County is the San Diego Foundation. So it's san diego foundation.org. It has, and she will talk about that later. To which scholarships do I apply? First of all, you've got to in order for people to make yourself competitive, you've got to paint a compelling portrait of who you are. Because we can, by what you write or what you do, we know, I can look at an application and know if this is truly what you want to be doing. For example, if you want to be in nursing, right? Somewhere along the line, your community service or extracurricular, you would have done that kind of stuff. I always talk about the specialness factor. And that is when you're writing down your extracurricular activities, I call the method behind the madness, is scholarship committees award funding to candidates they understand and relate to, and who could distinguish themselves from other candidates by their ability to communicate their specialness. That's what students don't do well. Just putting your name on a sheet of paper and saying, I want the money is not good enough. These are 9 things that I've seen people use when they're trying to convince somebody that they want to be funded. You have the do-gooders. Those are the people out there doing community service, a lot of community service work. And it shows in their resume. It shows in their writing. It shows what they do. You have the creative talents. Those are people who are the artsy, the craftsy people whose talents lean towards the arts. You have the survivor, and that's somebody who's overcome lots of challenges. You have the brainiac, the person that says, I have spent all my times, I'm getting all these A's and things like that. But brainiacs have got to show that they also can give back by like tutoring and helping somebody else. The activist, someone is out there that's leading marches, that is trying to make this a better world. You have your entrepreneur. That's somebody who is business-like, business-fine. You have the leader. Those are people like the ASBs have been leaders or officers and things. The scientists, those are your STEM and your STEAM people. And finally, the athlete. Here's what most judging criteria are for a scholarship. They look at hard work, overcoming obstacles, the teamwork, perseverance, that even when you're knocked down, you keep going. Individual initiative. What are you doing? You're not waiting on someone to direct you and tell you what to do. You're out there leading initiatives. You sound passionate and enthusiasm. That's what I look at first. How passionate is this person about what they want to be? Responsibility, civic duty, purpose. I think everybody has a purpose in this world, and I want everyone to drive towards their purpose. And then I looked at character. Character is really big for me. You know, are you doing the responsible things that need to be done? I always tell people that when you're doing an effective scholarship campaigns, apply to many scholarships as possible. So it's $50. That's $50 less that you have to pay. Don't neglect the small local scholarships. People tend to think, I'm gonna apply for the 10,000. Well, so has 10,000 other people. $500 scholarships, $5,000 scholarships. But you don't look at your local scholarships. Those are sometimes much more easier to get. Bridge multiple applications. Applications, to me, they all look alike. They ask the same questions. They ask about your name, your school. They ask the same questions over and over again. So you should already have that stuff ready to go so you can apply it to other scholarships that you apply for. Recycle, recycle, recycle. That means I could take a little bit of this scholarship and I can answer a short answer question. Okay, so that's what recycle means. You can use the same information, tweak it a little bit. You don't have to restart. You don't have to start from nothing. Keep a written personal inventory. That means keep up with the scholarships that you are applying to. Leverage your schoolwork and your class time. I have yet to find a teacher in any school I've worked in that says, I have done all my work. Can I work on my scholarship stuff? They most of the time will say yes. I tell people to learn by example. If you're not getting hits, if you know things are bad, have someone look at your scholarship stuff and you're going to say, you need to tweak your essay. You need to do this. You need to do that. You learn from your examples. And most of all, don't give up. You have to stick with it. I always tell people to keep things in mind. I always say applying for scholarships is a process. Remember, you can apply for a scholarship today and maybe not here to June. Just keep applying. And it's going to take time. Set aside so many hours a week for scholarships. If it's 2 hours a week or 3 hours a week, you can divide that over a week's time, and work on it. I'm asking people, please be aware of scholarship scams. If someone calls your house and you have not applied for a scholarship with them, people will call you and when people are trying to notify you by phone. Sometimes I know the federal government notified my daughter by phone, but the guy told me the exact name of the scholarship I applied for. So I said, okay, that's legit. And he wanted to set up an interview with Christina. And so, yes, so that you could be notified by phone, but you also can be scammed by phone. They ask you to pay for application fees or other fees to do a scholarship. Do not be like the lady who decided that she didn't have a lot of money, but paid $5,000 to have somebody help her get scholarships. They never told the amount. The lady ended up with a $5 scholarship. which is a shame. All 5,000, and all she got was $5. When someone tells you that everybody is eligible, that's a red flag. And they start asking you from some unusual requests for personal information. Personal information would be Social Security number, bank information. They ask you questions that if you've already done an application, they should be able to get off your application. That's the personal information, right? What's your parents' maiden name? Why do you need to know her maiden name, right? So again, those are scholarship scams. I'm going to do my final comments are this. People ask the question, what if I bring scholarships to my college? And every institution differs in how they apply outside grants and scholarship funds. You need to talk to your institutions and as you're getting scholarships, call up your financial aid offices of where you've been accepted and said, tell me about how will my scholarships be used? Sometimes they take it off the loans. Sometimes they may switch out other scholarships that you have that they may have given you. Check with them. Talk with your financial aid office about your financial aid. Could be affected if you receive private and state aid. I say that all the time. Talk to them. Find out if you can use it for books or computers or something like that. Scholarships defray the cost of college attendance. Talk to the scholarship funder about being over awarded. And by over awarded, what that means is you bring $100,000 in scholarships to a campus, but the campus only costs you $35,000 a year. What happens to all these scholarships I brought in? You have to go back to the funder and say, can I use that money in my, can we delay it to my sophomore year? And finally, meet all deadlines, including additional information after you have been awarded. So just because you got, just like an application for college, just because you have gotten in, the process still goes on. There's stuff you still need to do to be eligible for that award. And again, we're on Twitter and Facebook and everything else, Instagram, and you can follow us socially on stuff. And that's my information. There's my phone number. Again, my name is Linda Dowdy, and Scholarship Search. You can put your questions in the chat. Carla, do I have any more questions?
Nothing new right now.
Okay, I'm going to take mine down, and I'm going to allow San Diego Foundation to bring theirs up. And right on time.
Hi, my name is Lily. I am with the San Diego Foundation. I am actually the community, lost it there. I am actually the community scholarship administrator. So what that means is I am the person that you talk to when you're having troubles with your scholarship, and I will talk to the school if you can't resolve the situation. I'm also the person that cuts your checks and mail them out to you. So in the past, the San Diego Foundation has awarded more than $3.5 million in scholarships to over 900 students, meaning this year that could be you. And every year that you're in school to apply and apply again, because who knows how much you can get. And one year it may be good, but the next year you may be accepted once again. So as Linda and Carla has said, scholarships are the key to your education. This year, the Common Scholarship application will be open January 18th and will be closed on March 8th at 2 p.m. Why should you apply for this specific scholarship, you might ask? Instead of looking for a million different scholarships and applying over and over, you just have to do one application, and in the background, it will map you to 140 different funds that we have through our foundation. Who might qualify for these scholarships? You might ask like, do I qualify? I'm currently in school. I haven't been in school. Maybe college students. current undergraduates, medical professional students, as well as adult reentry. When I was in school, scholarships used to scare me, actually. I used to think that it was for the top grades, the highest GPA to apply, but it's actually for people that have a minimum GPA of 2.0, those with financial need, including middle-class income, and those committed to their education and have participated in community service, extracurricular activities, or if you have work experience. So maybe now you're excited thinking about where should I apply or where do I apply? I will now share my screen. Let's see. This one. So here you can go to SanDiegoFoundation.org. Wait, can everybody see my screen? Okay, so you go here, SanDiegoFoundation.org. You would click the menu button, go to students, and here, Common Scholarship Application. On January 18th, it will have a big button here that will say apply. So for now, I'm just going to go over some key points. Also on this page, you'll be able to scroll down and see our resources. Here you can see a blank copy of our new application that will be coming up. So if you just want to scroll through it, you can see what will be on it. We recommend about 3 to 4 hours for this application because there are so many opportunities attached to it. Next week, if you come back to our website, we'll actually have a PDF of our different scholarships that will also list the criterias. For now, I will show you quickly how the application may look like. So going back to this page, after you click apply, this is how the login page will look like. You will create a new application, new account. I highly recommend that you use a personal email or create a new email such as lilyscholarships@gmail.com, because once you graduate high school and you use your high school email, it may get deactivated, meaning you may lose contact with us if we tried reaching out to you and that was the email that you used. So this is our little tester site that I will show you. So here is how the actual application looks like. Just ignore the background that says sandbox. So it may look long, but there's these little toggles here. So let me just get a little bit nicer for the eye. So these are all different sections that you will be filling out. Let's see, almost done. See, it doesn't look so bad now. I'm going to go over quickly a few of these, which I find very important. So demographics. All the information here is your personal information. But please note that none of this information will be shared with anybody. It will never be sent out to evaluators who will be reading your scholarships and scoring them. The main purpose of this section is that it will map you to specific scholarships that we have, such as, say, if your zip code was 92113, there are specific scholarships for that zip code. Or say if you were in foster care, we have scholarships for those, as well as military and first-generation students. There are many key factors to each question that is asked, so we hope that you answer them correctly. The next section I'd like to talk about is current academics. The most important thing to highlight here is your current or former high school district. Please ask your counselors, what is your school district, to get the correct one, because again, this will map you to certain scholarships. Next, the one I would like to talk about is fall education plans. Here, maybe you haven't thought about what majors you want to do yet, but I hope that this conversation will spark something for you. It is important that you mark no more than 2 majors because it can lead to disqualifications. Most importantly, again, we have opportunities specifically for art students, teaching credentials, those that are pursuing STEM. So by clicking a bunch, you might lose out on those opportunities. The next one I would like to talk about is finance. Linda has gone over this extensively about FAFSA and the DREAM Act. I again will say it is important for you to fill this out because it will take a while, a few weeks for you to receive your SAR report. What is that? That is your student aid report. And on there, you'll find your expected family contribution, also known as your EFC. We need this score in order to fill out your application. You'll also be required to upload a copy. Next up is these three sections here. Extracurricular activities, work experience, and community service. Why are these important? Well, for me, I always thought that my GPA was the most important thing ever, but I actually did a lot of extracurricular activities in high school and a lot of community service. So there's a difference between the two of them. Community service is a church, food banks, going to the library and volunteering your time a few hours a week. Extracurricular activities are things within schools such as sports, Key Club, and even Avid. Say if you didn't have time for some of those things, we also have a section here just for work experience. If I can give out a tip right now, I would say if you want to hang out with your friends, hang out with your friends, but maybe ask them to go to the beach cleanup with you. So then you can tag on a few hours. Okay, let's see. Last but not least, I wanted to share this section down here. Down here, you have 2 short prompts that you will need to answer in order to complete our application. If you guys want to take a photo of this page right now, you can go ahead and get started on this section. Actually, they may look similar to some applications that you may already have answered. So use that to your advantage. So I'm just gonna wait a few seconds here. If anyone wants to take photos. Okay. So next, once you're done with every section, there's going to be a button here that will say submit application. From here, if you didn't fill out any section or missed a section or two, it will let you submit and it'll actually show you, highlight in red what sections you have missed. So say now you have completed the application. I am going to show you what the confirmation page looks like and how the opportunities might look like for you. Okay. So I did a little test application. As you can see here, this is the Common Scholarship application. I have submitted it. Everything beneath is all the opportunities that I am actually matched to based on how I answered. As you can see here, there is some that says due by March 8th. That is our closing date. What this means is that these scholarships have not fully been submitted. And there is actually supplemental questions that you may have to answer, such as a letter of recommendation or an additional essay that might be needed. So you can just click edit. And from there, you have to answer the questions, fill out the letter of recommendation, and then you will receive another email confirmation that says that you have submitted the application. So let's see. And from there, that is pretty much the end of my presentation. I wanted to reiterate that we are open January 8th, or sorry, January 18th, and we are closed, and any supplemental questions will also be needed to be done by March 8th at 2 p.m. At this moment, we actually do have one opportunity that is separate from our Common Scholarship application that I wanted to share with you guys. You can see here, it says the Kyoto Prize Scholarship is open now until January 1st. How you can find that is going to our menu button, students, other SDF scholarships. Here, we have opportunities that are separate from our Common Scholarship application that are available later on in the year, such as springtime and whatnot. So for the Kyoto Prize Scholarship, this is for graduating high school seniors. They award $10,000 and you have to complete an essay right here, along with the 2 prompts. So I hope to see your name on that list. So, and back to you, Linda.
Thank you. Wow, fascinating. Scholarships, and I equate scholarships are like a bus route that it comes around maybe once a year. You got to figure out when it starts and when it ends. And if you miss that bus, you're going to miss the bus if you don't get on it right away. So thank you so much, Lily, and for the foundation. Carla, do you have any closing thoughts?
I just definitely encourage people. I know that, yes, it's another form to fill out, but it's kind of a rare time in your life when you can just apply for free money that you don't have to pay back. You're paying back the community by getting a college education, and, you know, paying it forward yourself. So I just do encourage people that even though I know it's kind of like a hoop to jump through and another thing to fill out, it is so worth it to get free money out of it. And I know many, many hundreds of students who have received scholarships, big and small, but every little bit helps. And so I definitely encourage people to apply to scholarships. And I can see that Lily also put her email address in the chat. So if you would like to email her with a question about the San Diego Foundation, scholarships@sdfoundation.org is where you can email her. And I something popped up in the Q&A, so let me, people just said, thank you.
You're welcome.
Anything else? This is a good time and last couple minutes. If you have any questions, I did open up the chat. You can put it either in a Q&A or in the chat. If you have a question for us, now's a good time. All right. Let's see if there's anything.
Those are the official prompts. Yes.
Okay. For the San Diego Foundation.
I can share my screen once more. Yes.
Okay, that'd be great.
Share my screen once more if you'd like to take a photo.
And someone asked, do you have to be a San Diego resident to apply? You have to live in San Diego County, right?
For at least a year, yes. You can also find
scholarships generally, it's most, if they're not with the foundation, there's other scholarships out there that you can live anywhere.
Yes, actually on our website, I'm going to share my screen again real quickly. Share. So on our website as well, you can go here, menu, students, and you can see local scholar, a little bit slow, but here you can see opportunities of scholarships that have reached out to us, and we've posted there. Oh, here we go. These are different opportunities that we've listed of organizations reached out to us, and we've added resources as well. And I believe on our, let's see, on our blank CSA, there should be a page. It looks huge, but it's not that crazy. There should be a page here that lists our prompt, but hopefully I can actually add it on to the website.
Thank you, Lily. Okay, if there's no other questions, again, Carla has already told you that you can go to the CalSOAP website and you can get a copy of this webinar, or you can also call CalSOAP, contact me by email. I've done Zoom meetings with families about scholarships. Lily has given her information. So I think we've given a lot of resources that you can reach out to tonight. So thank everybody for coming.
And also one person said, not a question, but I love Linda's spirit. So thank you. All right, that's it. I think we're going to go ahead and end the webinar. Thank you everyone for coming, and check out our website starting tomorrow and our social media, and we'll have this up, and we'll always be posting various scholarships and things like that. So thank you everyone, and good night.
Thank you.